Welcome everybody to another episode today here in Zurich with Mohamed from a startup called Drofie. I'm very pleased to meet you.
Hi, pleased to meet you, thank you.
Welcome back to another episode. Thank you very much for tuning in today with Drofie and their founder, Mohamed. So Mohamed, please give us some background about yourself before we get into Drofie.
I'm originally Egyptian. I started coding and my entrepreneurial way since I was 16 years old. I sold my very first software to internet cafes door to door. That's what I was doing in my country. I'm from Alexandria originally. Then life goes on with my high school and everything, and then I went to university and then I decided to go to Riga, Latvia, to study avionics engineering. And that's where I started a couple of startups. It was not pretty successful, I would say, but I learned a lot. Mm-hmm. And here I'm doing Drofie, and Drofie actually was built out of need. I figured out that all drones in the market are great in shooting videos, but none of them can really shoot still images. So made some researches, and I couldn't find what I'm looking for, so I started to build Drofie.
Mm-hmm. Tell me a little bit, you just mentioned about like some startup failures. What were one of these key lessons that you can think of and that you learned?
Well, I learned that never be a one-man show, because when I was like trying to do something, I never really believed in this kind of teamwork before, so I was trying to do everything on my own by myself. So I teach myself coding, I teach myself designing and marketing and everything, so I was like doing everything on my own, and it never worked. So now I understood that you need a team who are passionate about what you're doing, who would like to join you on the journey that you're doing to make it success.
Mm-hmm. I'm very, very excited to meet you because I am a big drone fan. Unfortunately, I don't have my own drone yet, like a professional one, but maybe one day. So you're I think, the first drone company on the StartupShow, which is very cool. So yeah, that's something to be proud of. So tell us a little bit about Drofie and what you do. You briefly mentioned it before, but give us a little bit more background.
Well, Drofie is a small-sized drone. If you don't mind, I can show you just a maquette here. Drofie looks like that when it's folding, and to unfold it, the user will have to do is through this mechanism, I would say. So he will have to turn up the first arm this way, the second arm that way, and that's how Drofie flies. And Drofie is not a traditional drone because it does not depend on a GPS to have the follow me feature. Instead, it uses the image processing to follow the user. So basically, we follow you based on the pattern of your clothes. And it gives you endless use cases. It's very accurate and very stable and can put you in the middle of the shot. And you can also use it indoors, such as your home, your room, your office, restaurant, whatever.
You were one of those lucky entrepreneurs who got a lot of traction and media press over the last few months.
Yeah.
How did you do it?
First, we started the project around 8 or 9 months ago, and we couldn't really get any traction because simply we didn't have any funding. So what I did is that I started to read over the internet and follow some journalists who write about technology and read all their articles, and then I started to write them emails personally, like say, hi, I read your articles, this article is great, but you know what, we're doing this, we're doing that. And then I started to show to some journalists what I do, and some of them picked up our device and started writing about it, and then it follows, and everybody started to write about it.
It's amazing. I mean, it definitely shows that like the personal approach still works, or will always work. It's not the mass emailing. So that's very interesting. So tell me a little bit about drones regulations, which is definitely a topic that is always discussed the moment the topic of drones comes up. Where do you see like the main difficulty is that someone goes to the store, buys a nice DJI 4, and then 2 hours later he goes in the middle of Zurich and puts up this drone which endangers a lot of people. So where do you see the regulations going? Is it something that is
Well, as of today, the FAA regulations state that any drone over 225 grams, you need a license to own it and operate it. So anything bigger than that, you need a license, of course. And for DJI, definitely you need a license to do it. That's according to FAA regulations. So in our case, our drone is 140 grams. So we are below the requirements of the FAA. So in our case, you don't need a license to own or operate our device. Also, it's safe. That even in any case of failing or whatever, we have also made some tests against wind and broken propellers and everything. In any case, if it falls or on any user, it will not cause any damage because it's really, really light, I would say.
Where do you see in general, like drones became in the last few years a very consumer product? I would say if you thought about it 10 years, only the military was using drones.
Yeah.
Where do you see the market heading in the next 5 to 10 years?
Well, I see that today the drone market is a $4 billion market and it's expected to be 5.59 billion by 2020. And the use cases and applications of drones is really growing every day and the competition is growing every day. Even now, the personalization of the drone as a gadget is growing.
Okay, so one of the questions that I like to ask the entrepreneurs I'm meeting here on the Startup Show is one piece of advice they can give to future and aspiring entrepreneurs. What is the advice that Mohamed gives to these people?
All right, the advice is that if you're not really passionate enough or if you don't believe enough in what you're doing, I think you will give up in very early stages. And my second advice is that if you decide to take this path, don't wait for funding because you don't need it at the beginning. Don't stop your project because you said I have no enough money or something. No, just try to board on team members who believe in what you're doing and they will join you and all of you will build something and then funding will come later. Mm-hmm. This is one of the things that between my colleagues is an issue that they say we have not enough resources to start our startup and stuff, but I say that you don't need money to start your startup.
Mm-hmm. Okay, cool. Yeah. So thank you very much for giving us some insight into Drofie. I really appreciate it. Welcome to Zurich. I guess you're here for another couple of weeks. And thank you very much for your attention and for watching this episode of the Startup Show today with Mohamed from Drofie. And thank you very much. Have a great day, everyone. See you.
See you.